Pickleball players in West Vancouver want more courts in the Gleneagles area. This topic first came to council back in March. Here's how it was introduced by Mayor Mark Sager.
But I don't think this will be too controversial.
But the plans involve revamping a skate park, and that has pitted the needs of skateboarders and pickleball players against each other. By Monday of this week, here's some of what the two sides were saying at council.
Skateboarding appeals to a very small demographic, primarily boys.
The previous statement is deeply sexist and should not have been said.
It's crazy that we've gotten to this place where we are set up to clash with other user groups and fighting over this small plot of land.
So how did we get here? Our story producer, Alan Regan, is here to tell us more. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Lindsay.
So where are we talking about?
Well, this is the Gleneagles Adventure Park on Marine Drive in West Vancouver. And since 2005, this site has been home to a skateboard bowl and a bike terrain park. But the city says this space is underused and it's in a state of disrepair. And the skate bowl, it's only for advanced riders, so it's not really that accessible to people who are just starting out.
So how did the plans to revamp the site come about?
Well, the district wants to do something about the growing interest in pickleball in West Vancouver. And back in 2023, a community roundtable said, well, this demand is growing, so more courts are needed. So they looked at spaces that the district owns, and it figured, well, this underused skate park, it's a great spot to build some pickleball courts. The West Van players are a local pickleball group, and they were involved in this roundtable. Their spokesperson, Ed Pelak, told council this past Monday why this location is perfect.
Finding a site for pickleball courts is very difficult because of the noise problem, because of parking. That's why the site that we're discussing today is perfect. No homes are nearby. No one's going to complain.
And this is all true. There's a parking lot right there with almost 100 spaces, and it's not a residential area. The only thing across the street is a BC Hydro substation. So there are no neighbours to annoy with this sound. Because we've seen this before. Neighbours complain about the noise, and that's just not a problem at this site.
So this is an ideal location, they say. What did the pickleball players want to put there?
Well, Ed Pelak says they want 4 pickleball courts. But here's the thing. They want the 4 pickleball courts, but the players never actually proposed demolishing the skate bowl that was already there. Nevertheless, back in March, staff came up with a plan, and that plan removed all of the existing facilities. So no more skate bowl, no more bike park, and in their place, 4 pickleball courts would be built. And in addition, a new pump track would be built, so bikers and skateboarders of all abilities could have somewhere to practice, and not just those advanced riders like we see at the site today. So councillors heard this. Councillors really like this plan, and they voted to go ahead with a topographic survey, designs and cost estimates, and they asked staff to go back and get feedback from the community.
And what did the community say?
Well, within days of that vote, a local BMX rider named Ryan Taylor started an online petition to save the skate park, and that has more than 6,000 supporters. Taylor says the fact that it's an elite skate park is actually a really good thing because there aren't that many places like it in Canada. He said removing this park would rob Canadians of their chance to become Olympic champions. Matthew Foster uses the park. He told council on Monday why the initial proposal caused so much frustration.
We are outcasts of society. It's only been recently that we've been attempted to be understood. We've always been dealing with outlash from the majority of society. We're told, hey, get off the streets, go to the park. Okay, so then you're going to rip out our park? Like, it doesn't make sense. That's why there's a lot of frustration and backlash,
And so the skate community organised with petitions and with posters. Meanwhile, the district also carried out its own online survey. And according to the district, this survey revealed that residents felt strongly that the skate bowl should be kept. And respondents of the survey said people who aren't at that elite level, well, they should have somewhere to skate too. when it comes to the pickleball courts at the site, the survey revealed that people are divided according to the district.
All right, so what did the district do with that information?
They took another look at the concept and they created a brand new proposal in late May that council considered just this past Monday. This time, the skateball was retained.
Okay.
And not only that, staff recommended that it get repaired, that it get polished up, but the district wanted to do something for bikers and skateboarders who are at beginner levels. So they added a paved pump track and a new street-style skate zone so people of all abilities could have a place to practice.
So that's great news for the skateboarders. What about the pickleball players?
Well, this is a finite space. You've got Marine Drive on one side, you've got the Fire Hall to the north, and you've got the golf course and the Spirit Trail just to the west. So, to fit everything in, staff proposed cutting the number of new pickleball courts from 4 down to 2.
Ooh.
So this time, it was the pickleball community's moment to organise. And more than a dozen local players turned up to Monday's council meeting. Richard Thorpe is in his mid-80s and he says 2 courts won't meet the growing demand for facilities and it will dampen the opportunities for people to socialise.
Putting 2 pickleball courts in there will defeat a lot of the social requirements that we'd like to have, mainly rotating one group to the next. I've met 25 or 30 people playing pickleball in the last several years that I would have no chance of meeting, and they've all become good friends. So I really want to say that it's necessary to have more than just 1 or 2 courts.
The more courts there are, the more you get to interact with other players and you get to rotate and play each other as you go through your time at the courts. So this is actually a great way, people say, to address social isolation.
All right, is there a way to keep everyone happy in this scenario, Alan?
Well, Mayor Sager thinks there is, and that's because across the street, that BC Hydro station that we talked about, it's a substation there, that has a buffer around it with trees. So maybe there's a way to bring that space into the plans, so that way you have more room and you have enough room for 4 courts, you have the pump track and the skateball, so everybody wins. But this is a very new idea. So BC Hydro was not consulted about this ahead of Monday's council meeting. So there's no guarantee at this moment that that land can actually be used. So several councillors felt they needed to know what BC Hydro was going to say before they can take any votes and make any decisions on the next steps. Here's Councillor Christine Cassidy.
When we come in to make a decision, we have to have a lot more clarity so that we actually sound like we know what we're talking about. The public needs a tremendous amount more understanding of just exactly what we're voting for. I mean, we're doing this on a wing and a prayer.
And that's members of the public gallery applauding there. So it went to a vote whether to proceed with this 2-court plan, and the motion was defeated.
What happens now?
Well, I caught up with Mayor Mark Sager after the meeting. He remains pretty optimistic that there's a way to bring in that BC Hydro land.
I hope Hydro can see clear to finding a way to lease it or sell it to us or do something, because it really is ideal. The bus stop is right there. It would be fantastic. And so we'll give that a little bit of time and see what happens. And then hopefully we'll have this back on the agenda in July. You know, nothing will be built. It takes time. So it'll be next spring before these facilities are really up in full swing.
Mayor Sager says the district hasn't heard back yet from BC Hydro. They did get back to us, though. Spokesperson Susie Reeder says that land around the substation, it actually serves as a safety buffer. So any changes to that space would have to go through BC Hydro's safety, operational and planning experts. And BC Hydro tells us if an agreement was reached, the District of West Vancouver would need to comply with safety conditions and make sure that the operational integrity of that electricity substation is maintained.
So more to come. We'll have to wait and see what the district considers in July. So passionate, the pickleball players and the skateboarders. Thanks for this, Alan.
Sure thing.
You're welcome. That was our story producer, Alan Regan.